I said, I'm connecting from Ngara on the border with Burundi and Rwanda in Tanzania. So I have some challenges in terms of connectivity, but I'll try my best as much as I can. If we can start my presentation and then I see how it goes. First slide, please. Well, as you can see, and as I expressed as you expressed in my bio, I am within the energy sector now. I thought it was important really to give the context of the energy sector in Tanzania. We are a country with abundant, diverse indigenous energy sources, mainly biomass, hydro sources, natural gas. In fact, we also have uranium. And of course, we are developing also geothermal and solar. 90%, and this has been said earlier by my colleague, of the primary energy consumption in the country comes from biomass energy. And about 80% now of the total population of Tanzania have access to electricity, not necessarily for cooking, but rather for lighting. Out of 14,000 plus villages, we have about 10,300 villages now connected to the grid. And household electricity from the PV solar energy covers about 30% in some of the rural areas. As my colleagues have also said, by the end of last year, we had an installed capacity of over 1,500 megawatts. But the major part of it is hydro, which is about 1/3. And then, of course, natural gas and a bit of biomass. Next, please. The higher dependence of the primary energy, biomass as a primary energy, as you can expect, of course, it leads to deforestation. In many literature, we have over 100,000 hectares deforested annually, but in some quarters, they said 400,000 hectares. About 63% of the household actually do deforestation for the use of firewood, as the major source of the primary energy, particularly for cooking, but also charcoal. We have other energy sources which make up about 7.8% of the total primary energy consumption, petroleum, then we have natural gas, etc. I don't want to go to that into details, but you can go to the next slide, please. Yes, so the energy sector normally is a culprit, is accused of causing or contributing to climate change. But indeed, climate change impacts the sector. In Tanzania, we have 4 major areas of our work under TANESCO. We do generation, we do transmission, we do distribution, and we do customer service, what we call demand-side management. The impact of climate change is on all those areas. In particular, the changes in temperature and the precipitation patterns have significant implications to the power system infrastructure, whether it's about generation, it's about transmission, it's about distribution, or managing the demand side. Indeed, climate change is increasingly becoming a challenge. Next, please. I have, on the next slide, I have just summarized a bit of some of the challenges we are getting. The major challenge in terms of climate change comes from 2 areas. In fact, the recent area is sea level rise, with the challenge related to gas, our natural gas production and distribution. If you look at, for example, in 2015, about 150 meters of the area where we have our natural gas plant at Msimbati in Kwara region was submerged due to sea level rise, leaving only about 25 meters of space between the power plant and the ocean. So these are some of the unexpected impacts we are facing today. Normally, we are looking at climate change in terms of the drought, but the challenge have gone even further. Next, please. On other areas where we also are facing impact today is on the transmission side. On the production, of course, it's about the droughts and the fluctuating water levels in many areas, but particularly on the transmission, we have a challenge related to extreme weather events. We have about 6,000 kilometers of transmission line consisting of various types of transmission lines and about 58 grid substations, and of course 3 off-grid substations. All these are increasingly being impacted, particularly with the storm surges, droughts, and desertification, which cause wildfires in many of these areas. So the challenge is not only about generation, but we have recently been experiencing huge challenges in terms of transmission, in particular our transmission lines being impacted by such extreme weather events. Next. The impact, as I said, we have specific areas where we are facing the impact. We have solar sites in Same, which in the northern parts of Tanzania, Kishapu in Shinyanga, as well as Dodoma. We have also our wind sites in Singida and Mafia. Mafia is on the east coast of Tanzania. And the challenge we are facing now is that during particularly the high temperatures, we are facing the thermal expansion of the transmission lines and causing line sagging, which decreases the potential for the transportation of power, which is indeed becoming a challenge now. And so we have to change some of our modifications to ensure that this is being addressed. And this is being experienced in some of those areas I've just mentioned. Next, please. So in conclusion, I know we are given 10 minutes and I don't want to go beyond that. In conclusion, yes, indeed, we're noting in Tanzania that what you see at a global level, with increased energy demand at a global level, climate change increase at global level, water demand at global level, etc., this indeed can be translated at a national level through downscaling of what we are seeing. And I'm just concluding by saying that the socioeconomic development and the community welfare in Tanzania will depend on how climate change impacts the energy sector, and thus in turn the food security and the human health and well-being. And my very next concluding slide, next please, is that in addressing all these impacts, we at TANESCO, at the ministry and the government as a whole, we have been indeed working with the TMA and the other colleagues to ensure energy diversification, as I have just noted earlier. We have been working on energy efficiency and demand response side management through the use of various demand side management green technologies, improvement of our efficiency, in particular during generation, transmission, and distribution. We at TANESCO were also, in fact, working with the NEMC, the National Environment Management Council, to enhance the carbon sinks to ensure that we sequester some of the CO2 being generated. And we are promoting socioeconomic development activities with other colleagues to ensure that the energy demand for economic transformation has minimal impact on the environment. And we have also been working with the TMA on this project. Thank you very much.